As I said, like my name is Torai and I am from Afghanistan. Let's say that I am going to share my story. Everyone has a story, but today I am going to share my story. And also I want you to know that I'm not just tell you a story. I am the story. My story, let's say in 3 parts. My life before Jesus, where and how I became a follower of Jesus, and my life after I decided to follow Jesus. So I will start my life before Jesus. I raised as a Shia Muslim. I raised by parents. They were very nice and they were so kind, but extremely strict about my faith. Like they tried their best that I will be a very good Muslim, and everything they were doing that because heaven and hell existed. So they wanted me to be in heaven. And they taught me a lot of things. And one of them was that you have to try so hard to be a very good person and do everything correctly. So just like long story short, they taught me that through work, you can earn heaven. But I was surrounded with the people, they were all about to memorize the whole Quran. So that's why I joined them. When I was in Norway in 2010, I finished the whole Quran in Arabic for 105 times. And I was almost memorized half of the Quran. Even I don't memorize them now. I cannot read like memory. But I took everything seriously. And I was judging people. And I was feeling sad sometimes for them that why they're not Muslim, because they're going to go to hell and I'll go to heaven. And I also sometimes was very good challenging other faiths. I remember in Denmark in 2011, I challenged a Christian man and I asked him like some questions. He said he will answer me another day. And so I was really serious. I took everything very seriously. But you can be very serious and you know a lot of things, but you don't know Jesus. Like I just want to say that before I know Jesus, I believed in God. I knew there was God, but there was something missing. I didn't know Jesus. But you will see this, the following this story later. So how I met Jesus. So my life before I know Jesus, simply, I didn't know about the Bible. I might heard about Jesus, and some people are watching this video. They might also even believe in Jesus. But the question is here, this is the question. Do you believe that Jesus is in the Bible? Some people told me that they know Jesus better than I, and they even believe it. But when I start talking from Jesus in the Bible, they said, no, no, we don't believe in this. Okay. But I heard about the Messiah. I heard that Christians are infidels. And and they call them dirty. When I was facing Christians before I know Jesus, sometimes I was just thinking to them as an enemy. But I need to add this, that I am totally another person now. And I am not very smart. I'm not a very intelligent person to know a lot of things. But I know one thing for sure, that I changed. It was not the result of my work. Something happened to me. That is the power of the Holy Spirit, and God touched my heart through his words. And now I just moved to Norway. Everything almost, I can say, started from Flakfjord, Norway, the city I love to visit. And I didn't get a chance to visit that there, but I'll visit. I will definitely gonna go there. So I was in Norway in 2010 while I was reading my Quran, and I was praying, and I was, I was really I was so active. So many people saying like they are Muslim, but it's like in words, but I was really active. I was just not I was not satisfied on only just saying a word, but I was very active. So I was reading my Quran, and it was in winter 2010 when a guy, he challenged me that I am doing something that I didn't choose. And even that guy, he made fun of me. He said like, what the heck is wrong with you, Torai? I said, what do you mean? He said, you know, why are you doing all those things? And I told him like, when you don't pray, why you are making fun of me? He said, because I can tell you that you're doing something that you don't know what you're doing. I said, no, you don't know. He said, no, you don't know. So we were almost close to fight. And then he said, you know what? I'm going to ask you a question. If you answer, you'll win. If you cannot answer, please listen to me. I said, okay, what's your question? He said, the part of the Quran you were reading today after you finish your prayer, can you tell me what was saying there? I think I found myself so embarrassed, and my face was totally red, and I was full of shame. I said, no, I don't know. He said, this is the problem. Why you not reading this book in your language that you understand? I said, oh, okay. And then I started like to download the Quran. Today I have the Quran in Farsi in my laptop, I have in my phone, and I have in my iPad. So, and I was reading, I finished Quran 100 like 5 times, but still I didn't understand anything of it. So now this is the time that this is part of my story, that how and where I became a follower of Jesus. So we are in Flakfjord, Norway. One person is responsible for that I share the gospel with so many people, and I am getting better and better, and I am sharing the gospel in a bigger way, even in the future. Her name is Ilsa Maria Rafus, and I call her my Norwegian mom. And she was the first person, she challenged me about my faith. And we were in the restaurant, and she just makes sure that I am from Afghanistan. I might be a Muslim, but she just said like, I just want to make sure that if you want to eat pork. I said, yeah, I don't care about religions. She said, I don't care about religions either, but my way is important to me. And she was the most smart person ever I met in my life. And she was a professor, like she was teaching in high school to me, like she was like a professor, and she was so nice. And I said, I just want to know, like, what is your way? What is your religion? She said, I don't have a religion. I follow Jesus. I believed in Jesus. And I said, he is a good prophet. She said, he is more than a prophet. I said, well, you know, like we just heard about him. He's one of the prophets. She said, you know, Torai, he is son of God. And I start making laugh. I said, oh, I don't know. I should change my mind. She's not that very smart, because she's calling Jesus the son of God. And then she said the third word she used it was just really shocked, and I was not expecting that. She said, you know, Torai, Jesus is God. I said, what the heck is going on? Like, how is that possible? So I left the restaurant, and I left the restaurant with a lot of questions. I said, and then I found some friends, some people from Afghanistan, and I asked them, do you guys know what Christians teach? They said, come on, Torah, what you're searching for? They're infidels, and they just do shirk, and they add something to God and those things. I said, you know, guys, I'm looking for like a little bit more informations. So then I went to those who are living in Norway for a long time, and I went to them and said, oh, no, we don't know them. We, you know, like they were always isolated themselves with just in communities that they were all like, you know, like they didn't hear anything about Christians teaching. So what Christians teach. But and I, after like a few weeks, I came back to Elsa Maria office, and I said, Mama, I want to know a little bit more about Christianity. And she said, you know, this is a very good idea. But you know, it's more important that you know first about Jesus, because everything is about him. Christianity without Jesus not exist. I said, okay, so how do I know Jesus? And she introduced me to a young pastor, and I went to his office. And when I arrived there, and this guy was sitting on a chair, and he said like, oh, I heard about you. Elsa Maria told me, and you have some questions. I said, yeah, right, I have some questions. I want to know a little bit more about Jesus and Christianity, what they teach. He said, you know what, can I take, do you have like 5 minutes? I said, yeah. There was like 2 tables like this. They were close to each other. And he wrote my name, put in one table, and he put God in other table. And then he made the table like separate. And then he wrote in a shade of people sin and put it in the middle. And he asked me, he said, Torai, look at this. So I looked for like less than a minute, and then I was ready that he was telling me like, okay, here you see it, you know. But he said, you know, Torai, I'm gonna see you next week. I said, this guy should kidding. I have so many questions. I want to know, like, you know, that's why this guy is telling me that I'm gonna see you next week. That's it, that's all. And then he said, you know, because I'll see you next week. So I left his office, and I had a picture in my head. I said like, and I didn't have anything else for the full week, like the whole week, except that picture. Okay, am I separate from God? What is separating me from God? Is that a sin? So after 1 week, I went back with one question that was so important to me. I said, I am separate from God. How I can get together back with God? And he said, he wrote a cross, and he put it there and bring the table together. And he said, you know what? That's sin. And he gave me a Bible. And he said, you can start reading. So I went back. It was so simple. I don't know. I'm not doing that. But, you know, to be honest, like the way he did, and he was trying to make that not like you cannot get everything in one time, but I don't know like why he did that. I never asked him about like the strategy he was using. But then I start reading the Bible, and I start from the Old Testament, and I start reading and get to the genealogies, and I found it is so boring. And I just put it the Bible like somewhere. I said like, I don't know like what is going on. I am just looking for no Jesus and this genealogy. What I don't need any of these things to know. And then I get a call from Elsa Maria, and then she said like, if you have time, we can just meet. We went, we had a coffee, and she asked me like, hey, how's it going? Are you reading the Bible? Like, did you learn anything new? I said, oh no, it's so boring. And she said, what happened? Why? And I said like, you know, the genealogy and all on that. And then she said, did Alex didn't tell you that you start reading from the New Testament? I said like, no. Oh, okay. Then I recommend to you start reading from the New Testament. So I said like, what is the New Testament and Old Testament? She said, you know, the Bible is two books, like Old Testament and New Testament. I said, how? I just want to learn about Jesus. No, I don't need anything else. I just focus on Jesus. She said, start from reading the New Testament. So I started reading the New Testament, and Matthew 5, 6, and 7. And I read those chapters over again and again because it changed my whole, like the mindset. Like I mean, it changed so many things I was saying like before, and it just really, it changed so many things in my world. And then I arrived in the Gospel of John. When I started reading, it's like the world. And then, to be honest, the only thing I wanted to know more than anything else in my life, just to know what is this word mean. The word became flesh. So is that Allah came as a human? My gosh, I was spending so many hours a day, like just reading that and thinking, and then I shared with Elsa Maria. And also here in this part of my story, we also know the power of praise. And I said to her that I am a little bit confused now. She said, why? I said, I don't understand. I want to know, but it's not easy, it's complicated. So during this time, I had a dream. I had a dream while I was in Flatfjord. The city, as you know, it has like 9,000, 10,000 people living there. But in my dream, I was alone and there was no one around me. And I had felt sad, lonely, and I was crying. During this time, Elsa Maria, she came and she hugged me and she said like, Torai, what happened to you? Why are you so sad and you crying? I said, you know, because I am alone. Just right in front of us from the sky, it was a very bright light from the clouds was coming to the earth. And she said, look at that light. That light is for you. That light is Jesus. It means God loves you and we love you. You're not alone. And then when I woke up and I shared my dream with her, she said, we were praying for you. The people in the church and also her family were praying for me. And I said, you know, I was not just going to put my faith based on a dream. And I started reading, and I just arrived in, the Gospel of John in chapter 9, when Jesus said, I am the light of the world. When I read that words, and I just took a quiet for a little bit, and then I said, I just wrote to Elsa Maria. I said, Mama, do you have a time that I just want to see you? She said, okay. And I went, I said, you know, I believe. She said, wow. I said, I believe Jesus is more than a prophet. Yeah, and this is in 2014 now. And I believe Jesus is Son of God. And I believe he is God. What happened to you? I said, the Gospel of John is true. The Gospel of John, like chapter 10, verse 27, 28, 29, and 30, I believe them. They are true. And yeah, and I believe them. And then when I said to her, and then I start thinking about the consequences. What's going to happen to me? And then someone recommended me to watch a Jesus film. And I played that in my computer, and I was watching. I was by myself. It was in the afternoon. As I remember, I was just by myself at the house, and I was watching that. You know, in the end of the movie, image came in my like laptop screen. It's stopped in the screen. When I was looking in that image, I feel that image was talking to me, not as a person, but deep in my heart, that I can understand. That it was that clear. Jesus said that image said that I did this also for you, Torai. And I look at that and I just ask myself one question that was, it's really responsible for a lot of things that change in my life. I said, how you look at this? How you look at Jesus on the cross? Look at this image, all like, just, he died there. And how you can say that this is not good enough for me, this is not enough for me. Even he just did also for you. And I said to myself, and I was really emotional. I think with tears in my eyes, I said, Jesus, whatever is going to happen to me, I'm going to follow you. I know the consequences is something we cannot just deny. I might just lose something. I just might get a new family, new friends. But Jesus, I promise you that I'm going to follow you is not because what I'm going to lose or what I'm going to get. It's all because who I'm going to get. In life, the truth has the consequences. We might lose, we might get something. But when you follow Jesus, it's not about what you're going to get and who you're going to like, what you're going to lose and what you're going to get. It's like all about who you're going to get. It's all about Jesus. And I kept reading the New Testament. And then I talked with the pastor. I said, what is the next step I should take? He said, do you want to be baptized? I said, I love to do that. So, and then he said, okay, we can set a time, like day, like, so 4th November 2014 on Sunday, no, on Tuesday, it was on Tuesday, 4th November 2014. I said, okay. So that morning I woke up and I prayed and I said, Lord, just teach me something before I get baptized. And it was 25 minutes walk, like almost, you know, like the football field and the Yunus. From there, I walked slowly and I prayed. When I arrived in front of the shirka, like the church, it's like the big church. And I looked up on the cross and I said, I was so emotional. I was like, I just wanted to cry, and I looked up and at the cross and I said, Lord, I want to follow you. Please help me. If I just put it in a picture, I was a beggar. I was just asking, like, accept me. And I got baptized, and that afternoon I stand in front of people in Bedehus. And there were so many people, like Norwegians, foreigners, like they were from many, like I don't know where they were from, but mostly Norwegians and elders and even young people were there. And I said, I burned again today. I got baptized, and I am a Christian now. And I decided to follow Jesus. But I decided to follow Jesus before I get baptized. And it was after I prayed and the image talked to me.